Welcome in, guys, to That's a Tap with CT and DJ. We're here to talk about the big one this weekend. It is UFC 302. We're going to give our predictions and talk about it. But DJ, firstly, good to see you. How you doing?
Doing well, man. How are you? Good to see you. Good to start this. It's not really June yet, but we know the month of June is the big month for MMA with some of the biggest and best fight cards that we've seen in the recent past. More so big names. The return of McGregor, obviously the Islam Makhachev Poirier fight, which is happening this weekend. Because boxing has been has taken center stage with the events they've put up, and with the highlight of that being Usyk and Fury. So we've kind of temporarily had forgotten about MMA, and man, what a pay per view to come back to from that, and get back into the MMA world. So yeah, man, like pretty excited. 302 just around the corner. And when we spoke about this off air, seems like it felt like it was ages away, and then damn, it's here. It's this weekend, man. Like, I mean, yeah, what a main event. A pretty solid card. But yeah, look, I'm sure we'll go through the main card. But yeah, very excited.
Yeah, likewise. But also, a couple of fights have only just really recently, matchups have been put together, with Holland taking on
Yeah, you
shorter
man.
notice. And look, obviously the Poirier one has been in the works for a while, but it wasn't that long ago that it was, fully confirmed. Now we see Islam back in, of course, for the first time since his defeat. So since he defeated Alex Volkanovski. Uh, what has you most excited about this card first before we get into it?
Man, the main event, it has to be, absolutely. We've got the pound for pound number one fighter in Islam Makhachev, who I believe is deserving of that title, deserving of that mantle. Is coming back. I potentially, one could make the argument that he's, making his defense against a staple lightweight. Previously, it was Alex Volkanovski, although like he had his toughest fight against him. It was the featherweight champ moving up, and the second fight was more so a short notice fight. So, how much you can draw from that, not entirely sure. Having said that, man, Islam Makhachev cannot be denied. He is as talented as they say. He is as skilled as they say, and we can see behind the scenes some of the work these guys are putting in. Yeah, man, pretty excited. And then on the other end, we've got the Hall of Famer, the lightweight mainstay, the legend himself, Dustin Poirier, uh, staking his claim for the third time to attempt to claim this title. One can argue that he's done everything but win this championship belt. He's been the interim champ. Obviously, he came short with the BMF title as well. But even if we disregard that, I think in terms of the order of business, I think this lightweight championship probably will be the pinnacle or the top achievement for him, and he's probably definitely chasing that. We very well could be looking at uh, Dustin Poirier's last fight. We don't know. There's no guarantees. I mean, what next? Regardless of the outcome, we will gotta wait and see. So it is pretty monumental. And I'm gonna be lying if I said I'm not excited by the core main event, man. That's just a crazy core main event, as crazy as they come. So yeah, look. Um, but to answer your question, I would say it's the main event. What about you, CD?
I gotta say, my man, Kevin Trailblazer Holland. Nah, I'm just
Yes.
joking. Yeah,
Hey, he's exciting.
that he is, man, definitely. But look, all of it really. But yeah, the main event's certainly special, and it's a
Yeah.
legacy fight. And
Mm-hmm.
we'll go through our predictions. But of course, let's start at that one, man. The top,
Yeah.
Islam and Poirier.
Yeah.
Do you give
Yeah.
Poirier a chance, or do you think
Abs-
this is yeah?
100%, man. Like I know we'll when we get to the predictions, I'll sort of go as to why I chose who I chose. But to be honest, when I think about this fight and sort of seeing Dustin Poirier speak, it almost as there's an aura about him. Sort of like I've got nothing to lose, which is true. He's got nothing to lose. This is the third time he's trying to climb the mountain. He's come out and said it himself. hey, I don't see myself doing this again. If I come up short, that's it. Now, that's a man who's got nothing to lose and everything to gain, and he's going to go after it. And we've seen Dustin Poirier. Dustin Poirier is skilled. If you look at it, he lost to Khabib, which, man, there is no shame in losing to Khabib, and there's not much to be drawn from that because Khabib was that good. And then obviously he lost to Justin Gaethje. He got caught with that head kick. You can argue that before that head kick, he was winning that fight. So he's beaten Conor McGregor twice, regardless of what stage or what stage of his career Conor McGregor was. He's got that accolade under him. Man, he's beat Max Holloway. We saw what Max Holloway did to Justin Gaethje. So he's a skilled, talented, experienced fighter, a fighter's fighter, man. He never gives up. He's got the dog in him, and he's going to come and give it his all. And that's going to be a very dangerous person. I feel like he's coming in with a fresh mindset of, look, I'm giving it my all. And he's gone on record to say he's going to knock Islam Makhachev out. And we've seen that happen previously. I know ages ago, Islam got caught and got knocked out. I don't even remember his opponent who did that to him, but but that speaks volumes, right? Like since then, the rise of Islam Makhachev has been monumental. I mean, he didn't get the opponents that he wanted by no mistake or no fault of his. It's just that either fights fell through or people weren't willing to take that fight until he beat Bobby Green, I believe, before he got the title, and then man, we know what happened in that title fight against Oliveira. Beats him comprehensively, goes to Perth, has a tough fight against Alex Volkanovski, but then, does short work of him in the rematch that followed in October. All of these have an asterisk, so that's the problem because, one was one champ moving up, then the other one was, the same person taking it on 6 days' notice, which is, you can't gauge the performance. You can't rate the performance because there will be that asterisk. But man, his skills, as I said, are undeniable. Regardless of who he has fought, he has made short work of them, right? And he seems uh, impossible to beat. At the moment, I can't see any current lightweight in that division who's able to overcome the challenge that Islam Makhachev. I feel like he's going to be a long reigning champ. Unlike Khabib, we saw him get that title towards the latter part of his career. Not latter, but you could argue was his peak. But then we know what happened outside of that ring and his personal, tragedies that he faced with losing his father, and he wanted to cut his career short. Unfortunately. We don't have that issue with Islam Makhachev, where he is looking to continue this dominance. He is looking to, go and dominate another division as well. So I think we are set to see a lot of Islam, and I feel like we will see a lot of him as a champion. So I think while it's a good matchup, close matchup, a good name, this is a real lightweight in Dustin Poirier, who's fought for the title twice previously. So man, look, it's Dustin Poirier has also been unfortunate in title fights, right? With the Khabib fight, there were moments where he did have Khabib in trouble, but eventually got choked out. And ironically, the same happened with Oliveira, where he was actually having a lot of success in that fight, where he was winning the majority of that fight up until that moment and that round, and Oliveira spun it around, and obviously choked him out. So there could be an argument that can be made that Dustin, sort of pun intended, chokes in big events. But man, look, I feel like that's not going to be the case this time. I feel like we're going to see a good fight. Both fighters are vowed to finish each other, and they're even predicting rounds. Right? I believe Dustin said in the first round, and Islam saying he'll finish him in the third. So yeah, man, exciting formula for an exciting fight, and we as fans are very privileged to get such a top level fight. Whenever the lightweight title's on the line, is just super exciting already because everyone who's held the lightweight title, it's such a coveted title in my opinion in that division, being one of the best, the premier division in my opinion. Then having an opponent like Dustin Poirier. So yeah, man, it's a great fight, great matchup. But do you have it as close as that? Like, do you feel like it's a lopsided main event, or do you feel like, yeah, you know what, it is a close fight? Do you give Dustin a chance?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it'll be closer than people think. For many reasons. I think Dustin's in good form. He's coming off a great win. Islam's
Yeah,
been out of it for a little bit as well. I think that could factor in. But I feel like Dustin, as his career is potentially winding down, he's going to have a no, sort of a house money approach. He's just going to
yeah,
go out there and try to finish him and just not
yeah,
not feel any kind of pressure, which is
mm,
dangerous, as you know,
yeah,
for a
yeah,
fighter. So for that
yeah.
reason, DJ, I think this is going to be a finish, and it could be
Oh,
either way.
oh, okay, you kept it safe. Hey, as you were speaking, I wanted to pull up the odds to see. Is Islam the? I'm gonna assume Islam's the favorite. Let me check. We go to our trusted sports betting app. Okay, where is it? Grant Dawson, Kevin. Okay, there we go. That's a bit interesting. Okay, maybe yeah, UFC 302. That's what we want to look at. Okay, there you go. Yeah, no, as I'm pulling that up, I can't seem to find the odds. Maybe you can help me there, CT. But um, you know what? Like another thing that's sort of worth mentioning is that while there is that criticism that Dustin Poirier has come up short in title fights, and also having had that head kick knockout loss, it kind of shows how quick the sport can change. You know, 6 months ago when that knock or a year ago when that knockout happened, when Justin Gage knocked out Dustin Poirier, we were very not confident, but we were off the mindset that look, we're probably not going to see Dustin fight for a title again. And then guess what? He fights BSD and knocks him out in emphatic fashion in one of the most exciting fights in one of the best cards of the year. And guess what? He's now fighting for a title. Man, the stars align. I just feel like it's all aligning, man. I feel like the diamond's gonna. I don't know. The diamond's gonna shine. Like I just don't know. I just feel like it's always such a feel good story for all of us. I mean, who follow this story from the beginning, from the early days, fighting in the featherweight division, moving up to lightweight, and people sometimes forget how accomplished he is in the lightweight division and how much he's fought. He's 15 years in the UFC, man. Like that's just unheard of, insane, and man, like much respect to Dustin. He's a stud, and then Islam Makhachev, man, pound for pound number one, and then I just feel like he's just a upgraded version of Khabib.
Yeah,
Um,
so
yeah.
the odds, man, Islam is heavy favorite, a dollar
Oh,
17, and a
yeah.
Poirier 510.
Ooh, I might put some money on Poirier. Just, I mean, if he wins, it pays big.
Massive, massive underdog, but look,
I'm a
like
bit
you said, it would
surprised.
be just be a beautiful story, and
Yeah,
obviously, yeah, the bookies don't give him much of a chance, but
yeah,
we know it's going to be a little bit closer than most people expect, I feel. But look,
yeah,
Islam could just prove, like you said, I feel like he's still a level above the rest of the field.
yeah,
And we'll see, legacy fight, as I said, man. And
yeah,
this is going to shape a lot of the future of the
mm,
lightweight
yeah.
division.
And look, one thing I've been wanting to see is that fight in Perth, Islam Makhachev versus Alex Volkanovski. One of the best fights in the UFC, in MMA, in combat. So technical, too. Highest of the highest level guys going at it. It was a chess match, exciting, everything. It was very tough fight. A lot of people thought Wolk won. A lot of people thought Islam did enough. Eventually, Islam got the decision. But one thing that can be said is that people started talking about, okay, well, was Islam figured out? Or is he as good as they say? So I was keen to see how he responds to that. How he went back and did he upgrade his training? Usually in moments like that, either in a loss or in a close decision, you have that scare. You tend to level up. And Islam looks like the type of person who does that. So I was keen to see that, and you can say we couldn't really see that in the. While it was a quick knockout, we gotta say, and we gotta remember, Wolf was took that fight on 6 days' notice. So this fight will tell. I think both guys have had enough time to prepare uh, for this fight. So he will probably get the best version of Dustin. So I'll be curious to see if Islam's taken that lessons that he's learned from that Volk fight, and as changed his game up. So yeah, let's see. Then we got the co-main, man. Oh, geez, this is like a crazy co-main. Literally, there's no other word to describe it. I mean, I know they announced press conferences, so I'm very excited to see these guys, have their exchanges up in that press conference, because and we know Sean Strickland, we know the type of character he is, and then we know Paulo Costa and the type of character he is. Man, this is a brilliant matchup. I don't know if you know this, but originally Strickland was meant to fight Hamzat. That was a fight they wanted to do in Abu Dhabi, but Strickland couldn't. I wasn't. I think he had issues getting into Abu Dhabi, so they had to not Abu Dhabi, sorry, Saudi Arabia, and so they had to obviously go with the other option, which is Whitaker and Chimaev, which is another stellar fight. But then we also get Strickland Costa, man. Like, I mean, CT, give us your thoughts. Fill us in. Why should we be excited for this?
This is box office. This is power versus brute force and grit. Strickland, obviously we know recent champion, lost the belt narrowly to Dricus du Plessis, and obviously Costa's coming off a narrow loss to our guy Robbie the
Yeah.
Reaper Whitaker. Both have the the knockout power. I think Strickland, will obviously try to fight at the distance, I feel, and try to work him down. How do you see it? I feel like Costa's just going to try to obviously land, the heavy
Mm.
hits.
Yeah.
Um, but I think Strickland has the jab, which could
Yep.
cause Costa a real issue because Whitaker sort of fought a similar way.
Yeah. Yeah. No, man. Absolutely. But hey, before I give my thoughts on that, were you surprised Strickland didn't get a rematch for the title?
Not so much, actually. He deserved it. So I
Yeah.
sort of feel what you're sort of suggesting.
Yeah.
I feel like I would have had no issue if he got it. But if you're the UFC, I think you probably try to move that on a little bit because he held the
Yeah.
belt, he lost it. But yeah,
Yeah.
in ordinary circumstances, he would deserve it. Yeah. What do you
Yeah.
think?
No, I think, yeah, no, look, I'm not surprised either, because yes, it was such a close fight, and it could have easily gone to Strickland as well. On that merit, yes, but I think there's a lot of other things that against Sean Strickland. One being sort of, I think, look, no secret that from a PR standpoint, Sean Strickland could be a tough person to manage, and maybe the UFC probably wanted to steer away from that, and try and, like you said, keep that belt moving. That's one. Then the other one was, technically Strickland didn't defend the belt. Now we know there's always sometimes we see criticism about, oh, Adesanya got immediate rematches, but people forget, like, look what he's done. Like, the amount of times he cleaned up the division twice, right? And he fought all the top contenders. He held the belt for such a long time, so it was warranted, right? So, and yeah, he didn't get the rematch the second time either, right? But then again, he hasn't fought yet, so you can technically argue he's going to fight for the belt. Seems like it. That was one, and then also the other one is that they probably didn't want to risk the matchup between Dricus and Adesanya being jeopardized. That's so many factors played against, I believe, the Strickland scenario. However, look, if there was a good case to be made that he can be given a rematch because of how close that fight was. Okay, cool. So your question was, how do you think this fight plays out, man? Like you laid it out. I think Costa's going to come in heavy. For all the brashness and everything, Sean Strickland is a very technical fighter, right? And he's defensively extremely sound. Right, he's going to go to his Philly shell stance. Right, he's good at parrying, dodging punches. He rolls with the punches, and he counter attacks. And it kind of plays into Strickland's strength with Costa coming forward, and uh, really, unleashing on Strickland. But hey, look, Costa's got power, man. Right? Costa is very similar to Pereira. Right? People forget that as well. I know he has that one loss to Adesanya, which was a comprehensive loss. Outside of that, there was this very controversial loss. The whole fight was controversial with Marvin Vittori, where he wouldn't make weight. I don't know what was happening there. And then the Luke Rockhold one, and then obviously you had the Whitaker one. Now the Costa that fought Whitaker actually was really, really, really good. He had Whitaker in trouble a little bit, but also he was not taking a step back. And Whitaker's probably one of the best in the world, right? I feel if it was anyone else than Whitaker, Costa would have won that fight, right? And if that Costa turns up, if that's the same mindset mentality, seems like Costa sort of also embodied that mentality of, you know what, I'm just going to go forward and do my thing. I think we heard him say post the Whitaker fight, saying, "Hey, look, okay, I did enough damage, but I wasn't busy enough. Okay, so I need to focus on that. I need to be more busy. I need to put a stamp on it." So he's going to come with that mindset, man, right? Look, Strickland is hittable. Strickland does as good as he is in being defensive. He is hittable, right? And as of late, he hasn't shown us that knockout power yet. So, Costa could throw caution to the wind, trying to get the finish, and that could even play into Strickland's strengths, and maybe he could get a finish. It's an interesting matchup. It's a close fight. What are the odds on that one?
Yeah, so man, Strickland's favorite $1.40, and Costa's 280. So a little bit
Reasonably close.
reasonably closer than the
Yeah,
other one,
yeah,
but Strickland's
yeah,
still a bit of a clearer favorite.
yeah, yeah. I mean, Strickland's been more consistent, right? That makes sense. He's been more consistent with his fights. And, are we forgetting that he beat the Israel Adesanya, right? One of the greatest middleweights of all time. He did beat him soundly across 5 rounds. So that plays a big factor. He's been more consistent. His losses have been controversial losses where he could have gone his way. Kanonaya, he could have easily won. Strickers, he could have easily won. So yeah, look, man, he could either be undefeated in the last 5 fights, or how the decisions went. So I understand the thought process behind it, and I think it makes sense. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I just think Costa's got that X factor. I just feel he's one of those fighters with that X factor. And as I keep saying, the Costa that for Whitaker is just a different beast. To be honest, yeah,
He's got so much more to give. Like you said, I
yeah,
think, yeah, that was literally a toss of a coin, Whitaker,
yeah,
Costa, and I think
yeah,
Whitaker just outsmarted him, and
mm,
his savviness helped him
yeah,
get that one. But yeah, look
yeah,
forward to seeing your prediction. But before we do
yeah,
that, let's go through the final three fights of the main
yeah,
card. Holland,
yeah.
Kevin Trailblazer. How do you see this matchup? Right, this was one of
Man,
the shortest notice fights, right?
yeah, yeah. I think probably look, whenever the Trailblazer Holland fights, it's gonna be a good night because he's exciting, man. Win, lose or draw, he brings the excitement. So it's a simple formula. You see his name, you tune in. So yeah, we're definitely gonna tune in. Um, he, I believe his last performance. I'm sure he was disappointed with that. In sort of it probably left a sour taste in his mouth. With the fight against MVP, so he was probably itching to get back in and right that wrong, right? So he's going to come in reinvigorated. I feel like he's going to come in with a point to prove. Um, so I don't know much about his opponent. I've seen a couple of his fights. He's pretty good. He's a good striker. So yeah, look, but Kevin Holland's good standing up or on the ground, right? So remember he submitted Michael Chiesa, right? And he did. I mean, it wasn't as close, but he still did. He still stood with MVP. He stood with Wonder Boy. So he's not afraid to stand with these strikers as well. So I feel like that mindset. He's gonna come with that fire in him to want to right that wrong, and take that sort of stain off his name. So I think that's gonna boost his performance. I feel like the Kevin Holland we know is gonna turn up. Is what I feel.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna want to get back on a winning streak like he's been on for a while, and he is clear favourite, $1.38, and Michael Olaseshuk is three six. So
Okay, all right. So it's a
yeah,
clear favorite. Yeah,
yep, quite clear, and look forward to seeing that one though. He might surprise, obviously, and
yeah,
but the next one, Jalton Almeida, versus Romanov. Oh, I'm looking
Oh
forward to
man,
that.
the big boys, the heavyweights. Man, Romanov's extremely good, right? And we've seen him finish fights extremely good on the ground. It's good with his hands too. We know Jordan Almeida is very good with his ground game and jiu-jitsu. It is an intriguing matchup. Like Jordan Almeida was like this sort of experiment kind of thing where is this heavyweight, but he's built like a bodybuilder, like the Anthony Joshua's, and he was finishing people. He was finishing people on the ground, and then the Derek Lewis fight happened. Sort of, while he won that, it wasn't a crowd pleasing fight, and then he lost to Curtis Blades. Right, so he lost to Curtis Blades, and it was a finish. So that kind of sort of halted his momentum, and similar to Kevin Owens, but a whole bit completely different scenario. But I think Almeida is also going to come in with that mindset of, okay, let me wrestle that momentum back. I had that momentum with me. I had that trajectory where if I were to beat a couple of guys, these guys are going to start talking about me in that title picture and in that top of the division. So yeah, look, and we know there's a lot of confusion at the top of that division, the heavyweight division. I'm not saying Almeida is going to get a title fight off this because I think there is a line, but it makes a good case, and I think it's a good fight for him as well. Someone who's is fighting another guy who prefers to go to the ground, and which kind of plays into his strength, right? But he just needs to be careful in terms of when he shoots, being mindful because that's what happened with Curtis Blaze. And while he was shooting during his entrance, he got caught and he got TKO'd. So yeah,
Yeah,
but
I
yeah,
could
look,
yeah, I could see this going either way, DJ, in
yeah.
terms of just yeah, I mean, both savage knockout power. Almeida's just been on a hell of a run, but Romanov's very experienced, and
Yep.
we'll see what he's made of too. But I don't want to give away my prediction, but um,
Mm-hmm.
either can win this one. Do you generally think, like, are you
Yeah,
convinced?
same. For the technically for all the fights, but more so for the core main, the Kevin Olin fight, this one we're talking about Almeida, and even the main card opener, either person could win. They're all very closely matched up fights, to be
Yeah,
honest.
great
Right?
work from Dana White and the matchmakers, as they
Yeah.
say that they're the best at putting together the best matchups, and
Yeah.
then to start the main card, the main event, you got Randy Rude Boy versus Dos
Yeah.
Santos. Oh,
Man, hey, look, I always liked Randy Brown. He was an elite striker, very nice to watch. Exciting fights. The one with him and Chaos Williams was something that I enjoyed. Plus, also he was on the wrong side of it. But another fight that I liked of his was him and Jack Della in Perth, where you were there in person. Jack Della finished him, but still, man, like it was an exciting fight. Now, here's something you may not know about Dos Santos. So Dos Santos has a form of history with another fighter in the co-main event, which is Sean Strickland. So Sean Strickland, many years ago, used to be in the welterweight division, and when he actually has a loss to Dos Santos. It was a wheel kick TKO. Go look at that fight. It was nuts. I didn't realize it was the same guy. So it's pretty interesting that he's in the same card. But again, like I said, different divisions, different stages of their career. But we know how far Sean Strickland's come, and former champ now. But yeah, man, Dos Santos is as good as well, man. He's a pretty good striker, and this is like a very good matchup in terms of like a good start to your main card. They're gonna stand and bang. They're gonna be very technical with it too. So it's like a feast for all striking fans. So man, pretty excited for this fight.
yeah, you said it. That's a great way to put it. Great start to what is a great main card. Look forward to recapping it too next week when it's done and giving out our grade. But this one has all the makings, DJ, of an absolute banger of a
Yeah,
card.
and
Great way to start it.
absolutely. And then before we go into predictions, there are some other good names, scattered throughout the card as well. We got Grant Dawson, we got Roman Capillo, Philip Rose fighting, and look, our very own Jake Matthews is in the card. Jake Matthews is back, and he's fighting Philip Rose. Man, that's a tough fight, but excited for that. Nico Price is in there fighting Alex Morono. So man, it's a very good card.
It is. It really, really is. Obviously, it's leading into the big 303, the return
Yeah,
of McGregor. But yeah, look, Islam and Poirier don't get too big a names in the whole
yeah,
organization,
damn it.
and they're going to go head to head, and
Yeah,
that's must see TV. But look, the co-main Strickland and Costa is special too.
yeah,
Um, now, yeah. Any further word before we go through our
yeah, man.
predictions?
Newark, New Jersey is in for a treat. We wish we were there. But yeah, let's go to your predictions first, CD, because I've not seen this. So let's see what you say.
Oh, all right. I gotta go first. Then let me pull that up right
Let's go.
now.
Let's see what
Drum
CD's cooked for
roll.
us. Da da da.
There we
Ooh,
go. Here we go,
nice,
ladies and gentlemen.
man.
Yeah. Do you want to quiz me on anything?
Yeah, man. Like talk to us about. Look, I'm not surprised you got Dustin there. Like, man, tell me why.
Why? Yep. So similar to what I hinted earlier, and I'll double down. I think he's been active. He's been a little bit more active recently. But the manner in which he fought last time, it was just sort of something hit me that it was just a
Mm,
no holds barred, no
yeah,
frills. He's just throwing caution to the wind, and I feel
mm,
like he knows his career's coming to an end, and a man like that could be dangerous, DJ, and he's not there to wrestle. He's going to go for the guillotine. He's going to be
yeah,
reckless. He's going to
yeah,
try to knock the man out, and I think he's got
yeah.
a great chance of doing that. I mean, look, Islam is great, and I think he's pound for pound up there, but what we saw Volkanovski do when he had a full fight camp, I think that showed that Islam isn't unbeatable, right?
Mm,
I think a savvy guy and a powerful guy like Poirier can find a way to hurt him, and I
mm,
think he might just do it, man.
yeah.
This is more of an underdog pick, but I think he's going to
Mm,
find a way.
love it, man. I love it. Like, I mean, hope he shines like a diamond, man. Like,
Yep.
it look, yeah, like I said, like it's extremely possible. That outcome is extremely possible. So yeah, and I see you got Sean Strickland over Costa.
Yes. So the man, like I said, I feel like his style is more going to prevail in terms of, I mean, if he's smart, he'll try not to get erased by the eraser. And
My gosh.
he will jab, he'll move around, he'll fight at distance, 3 rounds, I'm guessing. Um, and I feel like he'll get a decision, right? But if
Mm.
someone's going to get the finish, I'm going to bet Costa.
Wait, here's a quick sub question on that same fight. Then, will Paulo Costa make weight?
You know what? You might have just jinxed it.
God. Oh man. Yeah. Look, I think I guess like the rest of it is very similar to mine, but yeah, obviously no surprise you got Trailblaze there. You always pick him. You've never gone against him. That's what loyalty is. So well done, CT. Yeah. Okay. So you think Almeida's going to get it done?
Yep, Almeida will get a finish. He's
Oh,
just an absolute brick wall, man. He's a truck, and I think
yeah.
Romanov won't know what hit him. And yeah, I think Randy Rude Boy will throw caution to the wind. He'll be
Yeah.
reckless. I think
Yeah.
he'll get finish, and I
Yeah.
think Kevin Trailblazer Holland will be back on the winners list with a finish as well.
So you're predicting a finish across the card, other than the core main, is it?
Yep, everything but the Strickland will be a finish.
Note that down, guys. Hit that money line.
Now,
Right.
let me turn it over to DJ's
Oh,
selection right now.
yeah, so the top looks very different to yours. Okay, there we go. All right. Okay, so I went with the safe bet for the main event. I'm going with the champ, the pound for pound number one guy. There's many reasons that I've gone with this. As I said, look, Dustin has a real chance. I'm not just saying it to keep my pick safe, but he has a real chance of getting a win, or getting a win over Islam, whatever the method may be. I just feel Islam's dialed in, man. I don't think he gave Volkanovski enough credit for that first fight. So I feel like he thought he's a smaller guy coming up. He's going to have a lot more success, but Volkanovski's strength and his durability proved him wrong. But then look, I'm disregarding that second fight because you can't really take much from that. We've not really, other than that first time when he got knocked out, we've not seen Islam in trouble too much. Okay, whenever he's been fighting, he's been, whether it's decisions or whether it's finishes, he's been quite dominant, right? And he's only got better. You know, when you see the fight with Oliveira, the way he got that finish was just very comprehensive. No one goes down and meets Oliveira on the ground. He just went down straight away, and only that he submitted him. Right? They called for the shot for Volkanovski, went to Australia and did what they did. Right? When we've been massive Volk fans, or we're from down under, so obviously we want to see the side of Volk, but you know, got to also say that you know Islam gave Volk a tough fight as well, right? So yeah, look, so that, and then I've seen some interviews, and I feel like not even the way these guys, that is Islam and his team, especially Islam and Khabib, the way they give Poirier credit, I don't think even Dustin Poirier is giving himself that much credit and respect, and that kind of shows how serious they're taking Dustin Poirier, right? And look, man, he's Dustin Poirier's style hasn't changed much. Right? He's got a lot more sort of, you know, more aggressive, yes, but like his style hasn't changed too much since that Khabib fight. And Khabib sort of outside of that one small part where he got caught and he was retreating, I think he had a pretty dominant win. So I think Islam will be able to negate whatever's coming his way, and he's probably gonna, you know, get the job done. So probably a finish too. I'm going to predict a finish. As heartbreaking as it will be to see Dustin lose the third time in a title fight, yeah, I just feel like
Submission?
it'll be a submission. I have to. I don't think. I don't. It's going to be hard to knock out Dustin Poirier. Not with his boxing, man. Dustin Poirier is arguably the better boxer. Striking wise, I think Islam's very underrated. I think Islam is very good in terms of his kickboxing. People forget that. So, but from pure like boxing point of view, yeah, no one comes close to Dustin Poirier, man.
Yep,
But yeah,
yep.
look, I'm going. I'm going. I think submission. Yeah, it's hard to predict these things, but yeah, I'm going to go submission. That's his bread and butter, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm glad you actually went that way because, we've got to give the champ respect. Like, we can't both be picking an underdog.
Yeah.
And that's where we both made very valid points about who,
Yeah.
both have a good chance to win it.
Yeah. Hey, full disclaimer, it's not going to stop me from putting some money on Dustin Poirier because, hey, the money line's good and like there is, like I said, a real chance he can get the job done. So, and then we got Cormain. I've actually gone with Costa, man. I think Strickland is very hard to beat. Right, Strickland's got a very solid style. Um, is very fundamental, like I said, fundamentally correct. I just feel like Costa's going to pressure him though. I just feel like it's a 3 round fight. Right? Like I said, if he can even upgrade a little bit to what he was with Whitaker, Costa that is, I think we're gonna get like the Costa that we used to before the Adesanya fight, where he was running through people. Let's not forget what he did to Yoel Romero, right? And Yoel Romero was a beast at the time, right? And he matched him shot for shot, right? I don't think, I mean, again, it's hard. You know, you can't make the argument on no one is as hard as Romero. I mean, Adesanya hit him and TKO'd him. You know, so it's just sort of like the angles as well. And look, man, like Strickland is very dangerous. Like I'm saying, it's a very close fight. But I'm just going to give the edge to Costa. I feel like he's again another guy who's thrown caution to the wind. So I feel like he's going to come in. He's wanting to come back, step back up. I'll be honest, like his fight against Whitaker actually impressed me. I did not think he would do that well with Whitaker. Although it was a clear win for Whitaker, I expected it to be a lot more one-sided than what it was. And I think I was very impressed with Costa, and I thought, okay, wow, and that's a side of Costa that I've not seen previously in those previous 3 fights post the loss to Adesanya, or previous 2 fights, sorry. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Costa. I don't know if it's gonna be a finish. It's really hard to say in this one, but I feel like Costa's gonna bring the pressure. I think he's going to sort of try and outland Strickland. But Strickland's got one of the best gas tanks, man. Let's not forget it's a 3 round fight, but still, I think Strickland's conditioning and cardio is going to be pretty good. So yeah,
Yeah,
look, they're both
that
good
is one of the
strikers. Yeah,
closest in terms of the
yeah, yeah.
odds. Yeah.
It's hard to pick, and then they're both good strikers, and they're both good grapplers too. And Costa's a black belt. Yeah. So let's see, man. We either way, we're the winners because we're gonna see a good fight.
Yeah, great point.
And
We're going to get someone. And then we agree with Holland, Almeida, and
100%, yeah.
Randy.
100%, man. For all the reasons I said at the start of the earlier part of the episode, I think Holland's going to come back with a point to prove. I did want to erase that loss to MVP, right? One emphatic win here. Everyone forgets about what happened with MVP, and that's what he'd want to do. And knowing Kevin Holland, he's going to be coming in fully primed to do that. Almeida, I think, yeah, look, he sort of learned a big lesson with Curtis Blade. He fought really up in competition. Curtis Blade is like top 5, right? So for him, it was a big lesson. I think he's going to take that learnings and he's going to go down. And I think it's a good matchup for him to go try and get back into the win column. So yeah, I think he's going to get the job done. And Randy Brown, man, I think he's a good counter striker. And Dos Santos is probably going to be more aggressive. And I think Randy is going to use his range um, and his reach, and he's going to counter strike and maybe even outpoint him. I don't know if it's going to be could be a knockout, but yeah, that's my predictions.
Yep. Yep.
Islam, Costa, Holland, Almeida, and Randy Brown.
Yeah, I like it. I like our predictions, in terms
Yep.
of agreeing with the final
Yeah.
three. But
Yeah.
the co-main and main could go either way.
Yeah.
This shows you how great this card
Yeah.
is, and I look
Yeah.
forward to seeing it. I can't
Yeah.
wait and
And
breaking it
man, if it's
down.
like, I'll add another prediction in there. I'm also predicting Jake Matthews to get back in the win column. He's going to beat Phil Rowe. He's going to get back in the win column. Let's go.
He needs it. He needs it.
Yeah. 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 Absolutely. Yeah, man. Been a pleasure. Been a pleasure breaking UFC 302 down.
Yes, it has. And look out for our recap early next week, Monday, Tuesday. We'll drop it as soon as we can. After we're catching our breath, hopefully it is a 9.5, 10 out of 10 card. It has the
Yeah,
makings of it. Do you think this
absolutely.
has the makings?
The main event alone has the makings of it. If the main event goes anything similar to Islam versus Volk, that alone is going to make this card a 9 easy, right? And then look at the other fights. It's just that it's all set up in a way where it's going to be fireworks. So yeah, man, let's go. And
Yep, and
Dustin got his floral pants as well, shorts.
glad you
Yeah, there you
mentioned
go.
that. I forgot.
Yeah, yeah.
Great, great.
It's in the game too, man. I'm gonna go pick him and pick those shorts, and I'm gonna have a go. Let's see.
Got the floral shorts. Does he go
Yeah.
for the guillotine? That's the big question.
Hey, my prediction is gonna attempt at least one. At least one. That's my
I'll
prediction.
I'll bet the over if there's 2 or 3.
Oh man, I can bet. But look, Islam is not someone you play those kind of things with. You know what I mean? Like he'll capitalize, so you got to be very careful. So yeah,
Yeah, he will. And yeah, and thank you for this graphic as well, courtesy.
fight
Yep,
limited. Yeah,
yep. Fighting Limited, and welcome, for them to supply the graphic. Thanks again, DJCT. Our recap will come next week. This has been our preview of UFC 302, the big one, Poirier and Makhachev and Strickland Costa as well. Guys, thanks for watching. Give us a like and subscribe, and let us know your predictions in the comment section so you can pull up the receipts when we go through
yeah.
it as well. DJ, peace.
Peace.